Shohei Ohtani was in the news recently as he has achieved the largest arbitration avoidance contract at $30 million for the 2023 campaign. And it really just brought one thing to my mind, that the possibility of Shohei Ohtani being traded has been made that much greater. Yes, while it may seem like $30 million is a lot, it is actually a bargain for a player that is both capable of being an elite starter, your ace pitcher on the mound, and also your greatest hitter at the plate. So when you look at what this does, it gives the idea that Shohei could be on the move. So on this video, we're going to look at 3 potential landing spots for a Shohei Ohtani trade. Let's get into it. What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And while it may seem blasphemous to even say such a thing if you're an Angels fan, the likelihood that Shohei Ohtani is traded has become that much greater. By nailing down an actual one-year deal on a contract for 2023, you make it so that it is a much better understanding of what the payroll restrictions would be for any team that he could potentially be on, Angels included. And I think that there's going to be an opportunity where there's a lot of teams that are going to come calling to see just what it would take to be able to acquire the services of this two-way player. But with that being said, I think that there are 3 potential landing spots, so we begin with number 3. And that third team on my list is the New York Yankees. Now, yes, while it may seem biased as a Yankee fan that I am, I do think that the Yankees have what it could take in the minor leagues to be able to acquire the services of Shohei Ohtani. Add in the fact that if Aaron Judge does depart from the team, that there's going to be a huge vacancy and a big-time spot to replace in that lineup. And being able to bring in a two-way star, someone that the Yankees were very highly sought after in terms of before he came over as a Japanese free agent, Shohei was one of the big things that the Yankees were acquiring so much international free agent slot money for. Now, being able to acquire him all these years later, while he's still arguably the best player in baseball, being able to do both pitching and hitting at an elite level on both sides of the ball. So for the New York Yankees, going after a player like this, if he becomes available via trade, is going to be of the utmost importance for them to be able to do. Especially given the fact, if Judge departs, putting Shohei Ohtani as the new headliner in your lineup and in your rotation would absolutely bring people into the Bronx even more than they already are. Now, as we look at the second team on my list, it is that of the St. Louis Cardinals. I think that the Cardinals are going to have a lot of shoes to fill in terms of being able to have the popularity of their players once again the forefront of their team. They have a dynamic team, as evidenced by the team that they're putting on the field this season for the postseason. But you're losing 2 of the most iconic players in St. Louis Cardinals history in Albert Pujols and Yadier Molina this season. So being able to acquire the services of a two-way star like a Shohei Ohtani that you can put at the front end of your rotation as well as the top of your order, sandwiched between a guy like Nolan Arenado and Paul Goldschmidt, would absolutely make this team an absolute powerhouse in the National League. I think the Cardinals are going to have enough players between their minor leagues and major league talent to be able to make a deal like this possible. And by making a move for Shohei Ohtani, you really make St. Louis the heart of baseball once again. Now, as we look at the number 1 team, it is going to be an absolute, without question, even monstrous, more powerhouse than it already is, but the Los Angeles Dodgers could potentially acquire the services of Shohei Ohtani. There's a lot to like about a fit for Shohei in the bright lights of actual Hollywood. Yes, the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim claim to be from LA, but they are really the Anaheim Angels. Moving Shohei and his star power to Hollywood with the Los Angeles Dodgers would make it an even more must-see appearance every single time he steps on the mound or up to the plate. You put Shohei in that Dodgers lineup and it is absolutely disgusting with the ability and talent that they have. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani, Max Muncy. There's so many names on that potential roster where you could truly get an undeniable monstrous powerhouse going forward. The Dodgers have already made their case as to being a dynasty, and with a addition of a guy like Shohei Ohtani on both sides of the ball, you solidify the Dodgers as not only the National League favorite for heading to the World Series every year, but you make them almost a guaranteed lock to be able to win the World Series each and every single year. Now, yes, there are some other teams that could potentially get into the mix. The Philadelphia Phillies, Boston Red Sox are just a couple of teams that come to mind. The New York Mets, the Houston Astros are others that could potentially play in those deep waters that it would be for the services of Shohei Ohtani. But when you look at what this player can be and what he means in terms of his acquisition costs, I think that the three we mentioned are the most likely potential landing spots for Shohei Ohtani. Now, that's not to say that it's going to happen, but if it were, I'd look out for these three teams. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know your thoughts, your feelings on this down in the comment section below. Where do you see as the most likely landing destination for a guy like Shohei Ohtani? Let me know that down in the comments, or find me over on Twitter at banter_baseball to keep the conversation rolling. As always, keep it locked into the entire GLMG family with Sibs, the Granny Geek Show, and of course here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast by hitting that subscribe button down below on all three channels. For sticking around to this point, head over to baseballbanterbroadcast.com. Use the promo code BANTER to save 5% off your order. Keep it locked in all season long as we continue to look at the latest news, notes, and my personal thoughts, theories, and opinions on the game of Major League Baseball. Peace.